The entire world dubbed the A380 the biggest disaster in aviation history. These excessively large and incredibly expensive aircraft were already beginning to end up in aircraft graveyards. However, Qantas proved everyone wrong. While global airlines were sending their jumbo jets to the scrapyard, Qantas made an incredible move. It kept 12 A380s in its fleet and waited patiently. Here are some of the reasons why this huge risk is now starting to pay off. Chaos in the supply chain put new aircraft orders on hold for years. Passenger demand surpassed all forecasts. Suddenly, every seat became priceless, and the A380's 550-seat capacity turned into a lifesaver. These titans, which everyone called obsolete, are now flying fuller than ever and generating profits that are making their competitors cry. But the truly striking point is this. This is not just about an airplane. It is a sign of a much broader reality. It could be considered the boldest transformation Qantas has undertaken to date, because behind the A380's surprising renaissance lies a deep-seated plan to revitalize Australian aviation. We're talking about Project Sunrise flights, journeys that will shatter distance limits, a complete fleet overhaul worth 20 billion Australian dollars. The time has come for the aircraft that have defined Australian aviation for decades to say goodbye. Every decision Qantas makes right now will have repercussions across continents. Will you cross the Pacific in a luxurious cabin? Or will you be a pioneer of 21-hour nonstop journeys? These choices are critical. So, how did Qantas turn aviation's biggest fiasco into a strategic asset? The answer is far more complex and vital than you might think. After 104 years of aviation history, Qantas is facing its most critical period. Step into any random airport in Australia, and you'll witness a fleet that seems frozen in time. These 737 workhorses have been shuttling between cities for decades. This familiar scene is on the brink of disappearing permanently. First, there's the aging fleet issue. Second, passenger demand has surged beyond all projections. Third, environmental obligations are transforming yesterday's fuel guzzlers into tomorrow's responsibilities. Qantas's response: the most comprehensive fleet change ever undertaken by an Australian airline. These aren't just cockpit panel choices. Every aircraft selection shapes whether families in Perth can fly directly to London. Have you ever wondered why airlines choose similar aircraft? Most stick to proven routes, but Qantas is taking a gamble that will resonate for years. From the surprising resurgence of the A380 to the revolutionary vision of Project Sunrise, this is not a fleet refresh. It is a complete rebuild. Time is moving fast in commercial aviation. In aviation, standing still means falling behind. The decisions being made right now will determine whether Qantas flies into its second century. Imagine boarding a plane in Sydney and waking up in London without a single layover. No midnight connections in Singapore. No rushing through Dubai terminals. A seamless global journey. Up to 21 hours in the air. That's Project Sunrise. Genius or madness? At the heart of it all are 24 specially modified Airbus A350-1000 ULRS. These are not classic long-haul jets. Qantas wanted push-the-envelope specifications. Extra fuel tanks, reinforced frames, cabins reminiscent of wellness centers, 6 completely private first-class suites, 52 business-class beds, special wellness areas for economy-class passengers. When you want people to spend almost a day in the air, every detail is critical. Why the A350? The math is ruthless, but clear. The 777X couldn't carry enough passengers or fuel to make the economics work. The A350-1000 ULR, powered by Rolls-Royce Trent XWB-97 engines, managed to hit the sweet spot, but only just. But Project Sunrise faced one problem after another. Supply chains got tangled, certifications were delayed. The pandemic rewrote all the assumptions. The first deliveries were guaranteed for 2025, but have now been pushed back to the end of 2026. Here's the billion-dollar question. Will passengers really want to spend 21 hours in a metal tube? Qantas is putting all its resources behind making it happen. It is confident that the time savings and comfort will outweigh the marathon duration. This is a risk that could revolutionize long-haul travel, or prove that even in aviation, there are limits to human endurance. As the first A350s finally take to the skies, they won't just be planes. They'll be a test of whether ambition can truly conquer distance. While Project Sunrise headlines make the headlines, a quieter revolution is reshaping Qantas from the inside out. Some of aviation's most reliable workhorses are retiring. These Airbus A330s have faithfully connected Australia to the world for decades. The 787-9 and 787-10 will take their place in 2027. The A350 ULR will take over from the A380s in 2027-2026. This is not just about replacing old with new, it represents a fundamental evolution in Qantas's approach to efficiency. The 787s and A350s consume 25% less fuel per seat than the A330s they are replacing. Over the course of an aircraft's life cycle, this difference translates into savings of tens of millions of dollars. By 2032, an extraordinary scene will unfold at Sydney Airport. A Qantas A380 will depart for the last time. For aviation enthusiasts, it will be like witnessing the sunset of an entire era. By 2035, all Qantas A380s will be retired. So, why retire an icon that passengers still love? The answer lies in the harsh realities of mathematics. 4 engines are burning fuel as if it were 1995, not 2025. But here's the interesting part. No one saw this coming. The A380s, which everyone thought were obsolete, are flying more efficiently than ever. Chaos in the supply chain has delayed new aircraft deliveries. Suddenly, these elegant giants are not just useful, they are indispensable. Qantas is performing engineering marvels to keep these planes in the air. When the last A380 takes off in 2035, it won't just be a plane being retired. It will be the end of an era in aviation. As the world watches Qantas's international transformation, a revolution is brewing in Australia's backyard. The narrow 737s that have been shuttling between capitals for decades are now a thing of the past. In their place, Qantas is introducing aircraft that will redefine the limits of what is possible in Australian skies. Meet the Airbus A321XLR. With 28 on order, this aircraft is a game-changer capable of flying 8,700 kilometers on a single tank of fuel. From Sydney to Singapore, it can fly effortlessly without refueling. The same goes for Brisbane to Tokyo. These jets consume 15% to 20% less fuel per seat than the 737-800s they will replace. This is not just a fleet renewal. It signifies a network transformation, a route revolution, and the democratization of direct travel. For millions of Australians, this means they can skip the tedious layovers on their next journey. Behind Qantas's ambitious transformation lies an unsettling reality. The plan's flaws are already becoming apparent. The A350s, originally scheduled for delivery in 2025, have been delayed until late 2026. What does this mean for passengers? Brace yourselves for the unexpected. As capacity struggles to meet demand, price fluctuations are likely. Qantas's promised seamless transformation looks more like controlled chaos. Financially, the risks are enormous. Capital expenditures of 20 billion Australian dollars are expected over the next decade. However, in aviation, the difference between success and failure often comes down to who manages turbulence better. Looking at the bigger picture, Qantas is not just buying new planes, it is designing a complete competitive transformation. It appears poised to dominate ultra-long-haul routes. Direct flights to all major destinations from Australia will be available without layovers or compromises. By 2030, Qantas will operate one of the world's youngest and most efficient fleets. The average age will drop from 15 to under 7. Fuel consumption per seat will decrease by over 20%. Sustainability is not just an environmental concern, but also a competitive strategy. As carbon taxes loom, Qantas's efficiency gains are translating into market advantages. Of course, the risks are enormous. Gulf airlines have deeper pockets. If Qantas stumbles in implementation, competitors will pounce. However, if this plan succeeds, Qantas will not only remain Australia's flag carrier, but also emerge as a global power setting the standards for modern airlines. This is a bet measured in billions of dollars and decades of results. Because Qantas isn't just transforming itself, it's showing the entire industry what the future could look like. Close your eyes and imagine boarding a Qantas flight in 2040. The plane you're boarding might be powered by hydrogen fuel. But one thing won't change. The red kangaroo on its tail will still carry the spirit of Australia. From the surprise revival of the A380 to the bold vision of Project Sunrise, we've been on an extraordinary journey together. Can Qantas pull it off? Can it balance premium service with environmental responsibility? Can it manage the chaos in its supply chain while transforming its entire fleet? The stakes couldn't be higher. This isn't just about the future of an airline. It's about how millions of people will connect across vast distances. Imagine your future travels. How would you feel if you were one of the first people to experience a 21-hour non-stop flight to London? Will you be there to witness the final flight of the A380? One thing is certain. The Qantas of the 2040s will bear little resemblance to today's airlines. Could this be a cautionary tale of excessive ambition? Or is it a glimpse into the future of aviation? So what makes this moment so fascinating? We are witnessing history being rewritten. Every new aircraft delivery, every route announcement is part of a larger story of human ambition. Such radical changes are rare in the modern aviation industry. While most airlines take incremental steps, Qantas is making giant leaps. History shows us that the greatest advancements in aviation often stem from the boldest decisions. From Pan Am to Concorde, from Emirates to Southwest, now Qantas is writing its own legacy. But this time, it's different. The rules of the game have changed. Environmental awareness has become a necessity. Passenger expectations are much higher. In this context, Qantas's strategy makes sense. It's not just about growing, but growing smart. It's not just about competing, but changing the rules of the game. The real revolution of Project Sunrise is not technological, but psychological. A project designed to erase the concept of impossible from passengers' minds. If you can fly non-stop from Sydney to London, what else is possible? Have you ever thought about it? One thing is certain. The future of aviation is being rewritten right now. And Qantas is moving forward with determination to be one of the key players shaping that future. Do you think Qantas will achieve its goals by 2040? Will its bold jets transform the aviation industry? Or will new challenges rewrite the script? Share your vision in the comments below. If the future of aviation excites you as much as it does us, don't forget to subscribe. Keep your eyes on the sky.